Hi, this is Quinn from A Curious Wonderful Nature, here today to talk about 7 different resolutions that I am looking forward to incorporating into my life for 2025 and beyond. And I'm going to share them with you right now. So the first one is to donate to a local botanical garden. As you probably know, a botanical garden is kind of like a museum to specimens that are from the plant kingdom, which would include plants, flowers, and trees, as well as specimens from the fungi kingdom, mushrooms, and possibly exhibits that include pollinators like insects or maybe even bats or butterflies and moths, but primarily specimen from the plant kingdom and the fungi kingdom. These institutions thrive on help from the community. While they may receive monies from larger foundations, we know that certain foundations may be under attack or may become underfunded. So any kind of assistance that we can provide for institutions that really educate people in terms of their environment and in terms of the flora around them would be of assistance. One of my favorites is the Brooklyn Botanical Garden, and I was a member of that one for a few years. Such a lovely place to go. Yes, there is a membership fee, and the community program is top-notch. These places help us to learn about the different plants that are in our environment as well as different ecosystems. So I think it's a great place for me where I am right now, which is not in Brooklyn, where I am right now to actually go to kind of find out more about an ecosystem and environment that I'm still getting used to. A lot of similarities, but there are also differences within the species and the genera that are located in this country. The second thing that I would like to do for 2025 is to donate or volunteer at a community garden. It's kind of in the name, right? It's a garden that a community could be a small community of people. It could be a larger community of people. Sometimes you need to be on a waiting list to have a plot. Other times people may just need hands to just kind of cultivate the plants that are there, whether those plants are like for vegetables or fruit that are growing, or if they're just for flowers, and it's a space for people to commune, to convene. It depends on the space. It depends on the community's needs and wishes. I'm thinking it would be really great to be able to contribute to that in the city that I'm in right now. I may wait a little bit on that one because that will require a little bit more language facility on my part, or maybe I really shouldn't. Maybe I should just jump in. What do you think? So I'm thinking that that would be a great way, again, to kind of learn what people are growing in the area. It's a great way to kind of get connected with nature and the growing cycles here. And I'm just looking forward to maybe getting my hands into soil a little bit more and maybe doing it within the community. I've noticed that there are a few near where I live, and there are always some rules, again, as to what is required. I think it's worth it. And I remember some of the ones that I used to see when I lived in Brooklyn, and they were just so varied. So I would suggest to you, wherever you are, it's a good way for the community to come together in activities that are positive, because I think we can agree that we kind of need more of that right now. The third thing that I want to do is something that I actually started last year, and I'm going to continue to do even more of it this year, which is to plant a mini garden. I only have a balcony, so I don't have a ground, I don't have dirt, I'm not a member of a community garden yet. I do want to start growing things again. And I actually did plant some things, and what I did was, because I didn't purchase seeds, I looked in my pantry and I saw, well, what has the name seed in it that has not been heated or overly processed? So I ended up planting flax and chia seeds. The plants are edible as well as the seeds. I'm going to also purchase seeds this time as well, because I've got enough dirt and I have pots. And again, this gets me into observing and watching the growth cycle and, I don't know, playing around in dirt yet again. I like plants, I like growing things. So also, I'm playing around with the idea of doing indoor plants that I start from seed. I have a few already. I'm going to get more indoor plants as well. If you work in a place that has plants like spider plants or a snake plant, ask the office manager or the people who are taking care of the plants if you can get a baby spider plant, or if you can get a part of a snake plant to kind of start and nurture, just in case you are also interested in creating your own mini garden and you don't have a yard or access to a community garden. Number 4 on my list of no particular order that I would like to do is to download a fungi identifier. Now, I have a Seek and iNaturalist, and I've spoken about those before. I also have Merlin, which I haven't talked about, which I may do a video about later on. But I have these two, or well, 3. I have a few already, but I don't have one that's specifically geared to identifying fungi and specifically mushrooms. I think Seek does a pretty good job and iNaturalist does a pretty good job, but I really want something that is well focused and has, I guess, maybe a broader database of fungi and more information about that. So I'm going to be downloading that. I think if you are just starting and you want to kind of start identifying the things that are growing all around you, iNaturalist and specifically Seek are really great apps. I've talked about those in a previous video or a few videos at this point of time. So I'm going to list those videos down at the bottom, and there's probably going to be something right up here or right up here somewhere. I always forget where they're going to be. So that's number 4. Number 5 on my list is to learn even more plants and flowers. I actually am going to include more plants and fungi because plants incorporates a number of things and fungi incorporates mushrooms. But I really want to learn more plants and be able to identify more just right off the bat. That's just more learning, and while the apps are really good starting points, that knowledge also requires being able to see them more and more often, and also doing more reading and research on my end. At least for me, if you are interested in kind of finding out more about the plants in your area, you do want to go online into different books to find out more about what you have found. I think starting with the apps are great, but you also want to get even more in depth with the information that you have found out. I also think it's a really good way to kind of verify that you have found what you think you have found and confirm things like edibility, confirm that there are no kind of allergens. I have this goal, and I don't think anyone else needs to have this goal, but I'm thinking about maybe 100 to 200 more. Considering that I know over that right now, I don't think that's really overly ambitious. What do you think? So number 6, which is actually a bit more related to number 4, is to participate in a citizen science project. Now, again, I'm going to mention iNaturalist, because iNaturalist is a great organization. iNaturalist has a list of projects that they will release monthly or even weekly that asks the public to contribute their observations. It could be a specific type of bird or a type of insect, or maybe it's something called a BioBlitz, which is to gather observations of a specific area. And that BioBlitz is something that you want to gather as many observations about different types of plants and animals and fungi in your environment as you can. So I want to do more of that. It's something that I forget to sign up for, and I want to become a lot more mindful of. So I want to do maybe 2 or 3 of those. Not difficult to do. I already have the app. Why not, right? The last thing on my nature resolutions list is the one thing that I want to do way more regularly than I have recently. I was so consistent for such a long time, and then somehow I fell off. It happens to the best of us, and it happened to me. So my last thing is to spend more time in nature consistently. Now I'm going to talk about that word nature in an upcoming video, a longer video, because I think it's a really important word, especially when we think about that in terms of our environmental concerns and our climate change catastrophes that are happening. But it is really important to spend 120 minutes, at least 120 minutes a week in a natural environment. That can be a green environment. It can be something that's a blue environment, basically near a blue water. But I primarily have green environments near me, usually. And so it's really not a hard thing to do. I want to become way more consistent than I have been in the past 2 months. Again, things happen. And it's something that I would recommend that everyone does. This is the one thing. If you don't do anything from this list, it's the one thing that I would absolutely suggest that you do. It's great for your mental and emotional health. It's great for your spirituality. It's great for your cognitive abilities. It's even wonderful to do your exercise in nature. It's called green exercise, and I talk about that in another video. So spending that 120 minutes in nature every week, broken up however you wish to do it, is something that I would strongly recommend that we all do. Again, that was it for my 7 nature resolutions. Please let me know in the comments below if you're going to do some, any, all, one of the things that I listed. Maybe you have some more. I have a few more, but I didn't put them on the list. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Be curious, stay wonderful, and bye for now.